Hello everyone, in this video we will see the installation steps for Kafka and how we can easily install without any fault in our Windows. Second thing is we will see the basic operations of Kafka, how the producer and consumers are sending message and receiving it one after another. And for those operations and installation, we need to first understand why there is a Kafka and what the need of it. So in the real world application, if there are two servers, let it be server 1 and server 2, which are interacting over one another, always there is a storage system which are available in between. For understanding, let's understand that if there is a database which is storing the messages and server 2 is using those messages after reading it from the database, then there is a interaction happens from server 1 to server 2. Now the question arises, what's the need of database? Why don't the server 1 sends the message to server 2 directly? The reason for that is, if server 1 keeps on start sending the message, and if there is no database and server 2 is not available at that moment, then there are chances that message will be lost. For those scenarios, to handle the message loss scenarios, it is better to store somewhere and then send it to server 2, or server 2 will start consuming it from the storage device which is available. Now for understanding, if there is a database which is storing those messages instead of any messaging service like Kafka, the problem arises when there is a large volume of data which are being produced and which are being consumed from large pool of customers. If there are millions and millions of customers which are actually producing or which are actually consuming those data, the chances of the database to go down is very high, because the throughput, or you can say the read and write operations which are performed in any particular system is called as throughput. So if you talk about the database, the throughput is very low, so the read and write operations are not performed very easily at very less moment and through high volume in the database. So then comes the picture of the messaging queues like Kafka. So Kafka is actually fault tolerant, you can say, and gives high throughput and stores and receives large volume of messages through consumer. So consumer can get large volume of data in a stream or pipe format, where the messages will not be lost because it's a fault tolerant, and the read and write operations can be performed easily from server 1 to multiple server, and high throughput can be given at each moment. Now we have understood why there is a need of any storage devices and why there is a high throughput and high volume storage devices are required, like Kafka or some other queues. Now let's understand the architecture of Kafka. So when in Kafka we talk about, there are divided into multiple brokers, and these brokers are actually kind of, you can understand as a separate tables or separate segment of databases which are there in the Kafka, and these brokers are further divided into separate topics. So if I talk about any particular broker, broker 1 is segmented into topic 1 and topic 2. Likewise, broker 2 can be segmented into multiple topics. So the segregation is required because different pool of customers can read the data from different brokers or different topics. Now these topics are further divided into partitions. So we can get the data from the granular level of 3 level, like partition, topic and broker. Now we have understood through different segment we can read and write the operations and get high throughput. So now comes why it is a fault tolerant. So if you talk about fault intolerant, it is always backed up by zookeeper. So zookeeper comes into the picture, and zookeeper tells, I will work on the worker slave pattern. So if any of the slave server gets down or worker slave gets down, then we will pull out those slaves and make it as a worker. So this is how the worker slaves work, and the zookeeper is backed up and gives Kafka support of fault intolerance. So high throughput, fault intolerance and high volume data is easily received. Now let's go and have the installation in our system of Windows, and then we will see the basic operations. In this video we will download and see the basic operations of Kafka. For that I have written Apache Kafka in my Chrome, and I went to this kafka.apache.org, and these are the basic things which are written, like 80% of all the Fortune companies use this. this Kafka, and some of the basic properties I mentioned here. So if you can see, these are the performance parameters which are available. First and most prominent thing is the throughput. That is, most of the read and write operations can be performed in very less time, so which is not available or which is not performed with PB. And this is highly scalable, and this stores the stream of data safely in the distributed system and can be used easily with through high fault tolerance. So now let's go to the download Kafka section. Here I will download this file, this tzz file, and extract it in my D drive. To be mentioned, the other drive which is not a C drive. And I went to the bin section, then Windows, and you can see zookeeper server.start.bat file is there. So I'm on my Windows, so I'm using bat file, and this is the zookeeper.properties which is available in the config folder. So two paths. One is for starting the bat file in Windows section of bin. Second is the properties from config. So I've gone to Windows of bin and then started the server.bat and use the config folder for zookeeper.properties. As you can see, the error has came. For this only I mentioned that this is other drive which is not a C drive. So for running properly, you should not use the C drive. Instead, not use the D drive, but other way, that is the C drive should be used. So now I've pasted in the C drive and I will extract it here. Again, one problem will come. I will show you how you can solve it. So now I went into this folder, again same path, the Windows and zookeeper server start.bat file, then config for zookeeper.properties. So I'll went to the main folder and go to the command prompt, and here I will use the same command. Go to the bin. Initially I went inside this, go to the bin folder, and then I'll go to the Windows, then I'll go with the zookeeper server start.bat file. Then I will use the config from the config folder, that is zookeeper.properties. Now again this will come. So if you use very large folder sections one inside the another, then there will be a problem in starting the Kafka. So instead, let me delete it, and first of all exit it from here, delete this folder, and use the minimum folder which is available so that the Kafka can be used for run. So I am extracting the file here instead to a folder. So extract here. So one folder section has been reduced. Now I went to this Kafka. I'll reduce the name from this to Kafka only. And inside this Kafka, I will show you. Again, the things are there only. I will start the CMD, and now if I will use the same command, then it will easily run my Kafka. For that, first start the zookeeper and config, then go to the zookeeper.properties. Now you can see this has already started. So first thing, to use the C section, that is C folder, and never use a very large folder sections one after another. Instead, it will be very less folders so that Kafka can easily run the files. Now after this, let's start the server.properties. Server.properties is used for running Kafka. Now we have started the zookeeper, now we will run the Kafka. For running Kafka, go to the bin, then again the Windows, then Kafka -server -start.bat file for running Kafka. Config to be used, not zookeeper, but instead server.properties. So as you can see, Kafka is also started here. So for running Kafka, we should first start the zookeeper to add 2181, then run the Kafka. Now we are again at the Kafka main website. We will first use the topic, and we will first try to create a topic. So for creating a topic, I can show you that I can again go to the CMD folder, and let me show you how we can create the topic. For that, we will go to the Windows, then go to the Kafka topic.bat file for running a topic, then -- create, then -- topic. Then my topic is any name which you will give to the topic. So I've given my topic. Then -- bootstrap.server, then localhost, so at which my Kafka is running. So it is 9092. So as you can see, bootstrap -server. So -server is there, not a full stop. So I will change it to -server. So after this, my topic has been created topic, my topic. So after creation of topic, I will try to publish some certain data in the producer, add this file, and try to consume it through consumer.bat file. So in the next command prompt, I am going to Kafka console, then producer. So console, after that producer. So producer will produce the data. We'll have to go to the section where we will find the data which is available. So I'm going here to publish the data. So it is saying go to the topic which we have created using the same syntax. So topic, and this is my topic. So again I'm using this name only, my hyphen topic. Then again use the same syntax, that is bootstrap server and localhost 9092. So this is what I am writing here, in bootstrap server and localhost 9092. So as you can see, the console is already started. It is saying to write anything, it will be published to your subscriber. So I am writing hello. So hello developers, and again I will do the enter, you are on Play Java channel. So this is how the messages are being published in the Kafka. So this is a publisher. Now let's create certain consumers. For creation of consumer, syntax will be similar. Instead, a Kafka hyphen consumer will be used. Kafka hyphen console hyphen consumer. So this was producer, and again in this window section only I will use CMD, and I will try to use same producer and consumer one after another, so that it will be clearly visible when I am publishing in Kafka. The messages are being read through consumer. So I am using the same topic, my topic, then again the bootstrap hyphen server, and again localhost 9092. So my console of the consumer has started. So whatever message I will write in the producer, it will be displayed in the consumer. So let me write certain message. Before that, let me arrange this one after another. So I am writing here hi. So as you can say, hi has came, but this is not clearly visible. Let me expand it little bit, and whatever I am writing, it will be coming here. So hi, as you can see, this is a producer. So you are on, again you can see consumer is writing you are on Play Java channel. So consumer is reading just after the other. So this is how producer and consumer are working one after another. I am producer and you are consumer will be coming in the consumer CMD. So this is how producer and consumer are working by through Kafka. Now let's create one more consumer, so that you can see that whoever is subscribing to that particular Kafka topic, all of them will be getting the same data whenever Kafka gives a stream of data. So again I will use this here, so that things will be coming on the same page for this producer and consumer. So I'll use this same command as the topic is same. So I'll write Kafka console consumer bat, then topic, then the name of my topic is my topic only, and bootstrap server. Then I'll use the localhost 9092 where the Kafka is running. So localhost 9092. So again I have two consumers. So these all are subscribed to the same particular topic. So whatever data I am providing in the topic will be coming to both of them at the same time. So as you can see, I have written CLS is coming. I am writing this syntax, the syntax is coming. Again I am writing, let's write some certain data, that subscribers, as you can see subscribers are coming, are listening, all the messages are being sent rapidly. So as you can see, producer is producing, and these two consumers are there which are consuming the data. This is how the basics of Kafka works. Thank you all for watching the video.